You guys, I would like to thank my staff. I thought they did a fabulous job throughout this entire recruiting process. The majority of our class obviously was signed in December. The February class is more of a fine-tuning of what we're trying to get done here over an entire recruiting period. The analogy I kind of used earlier today on the radio is that in the old days we used to have pencils, and we used to have the sharpener in the classroom, and we'd go up and sharpen the pencil, and you could write with it. But if you were really about to do a fantastic job on a test, sometimes you'd stay there a little bit longer and get a really fine point on there so you could do some impressive cursive writing. And hopefully that's what the 4 individuals that we got in the second part of this recruiting class, along with some of the extra scholarships that we have left, can afford us to get into that type of fine point writing where we can really have an outstanding class that can help us have an outstanding season for the 2019 year. So with that, I'll open it up to questions.
Mark? So if you took the class that signed in December and this one, and now it's all one, how much of an upgrade does it get from what you had to what you have now?
I think it's a big upgrade. If you're trying to compare it, or if you're asking me to compare it with the previous classes, I think it fits in very well. It's probably a higher rated class than we've had in a long time based off of how we see it. I know the experts may see it a different way, but we feel extremely good about the young men that we brought into this class.
You also said back in December that class had kind of already been signed before the season started. Now this one has something to do with the 10-win season, the Camping World Bowl. Can you tell us more about that? Yeah,
I think that obviously the 10 wins and the win in the Camping World Bowl over an old rival, West Virginia, I think that the 4 signees that we got in February had a lot to do with that. I thought we got into some crucial battles down to the end, and I think that those young men can see maybe down the road where this program is going, and maybe it helped them to make a choice that they needed to come up north with the northern people up here up north in the ACC instead of maybe going somewhere else.
Steven, you mentioned the scholarships you have left. Curious, as you look ahead, how many spots do you think you have, and what do you kind of prioritize what you got?
Well, I know we like the numbers. I know you and I are always battling over those. You know, we still would like to get certain areas. You can figure it out, Stephen. You've already talked about it in a bunch of your articles. But there's certain positions we still maybe want to get 1 or 2 guys, but I don't think we're at the point yet where we can just turn down a fantastic player. And that's always the balancing act. We really need this and this, but if somebody comes through the door that's outstanding, that can take one of our starters and just flat put them on the bench based off of what they can do and add to the community and the university, I think it's somebody that we have to look at.
Mark? Me again, I guess. Coach, when you've had Eric Dungy, now you're bringing in another quarterback. Is Dungy kind of the mold now for your offense for this team? And does David Summers have any similarities to what you're looking for now?
I think the one thing that we've always done a good job with is our staff and our family is that we've adjusted our offense to a lot of different styles of quarterbacks. If you look at the, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've had 7 different play callers in 7 years with this offense, and I think that all of them are different. And I think the one thing that we do a fantastic job of, not only with the kicking game, but offensively and defensively, is having enough knowledge that we can have the flexibility to build our offense or our defense or our special teams around the individuals and the personnel that we have.
So what does David Summers bring?
David Summers is a very accurate thrower, okay, that can touch the football field. He has a very, very sharp mind, which means the ball can come out of his hand very, very quickly. And we will build, if his time comes, we will build the offense around some of those attributes, just like we will do the exact same thing with the play callers and the signal of the quarterbacks that we have in the program right now.
Dan?
Coach, to have signing day today, just get a few players, but in the initial signing day, to get so much kind of out of the way, just what you can say about starting early and making sure you had those early signees and some of the guys in here already.
Well, the key to feeling comfortable up here in February is that you need to get most of your work done in December. And the process has really speeded up. And to say that I'm uncomfortable with it would be, basically telling you that I'm uncomfortable with it. I am uncomfortable with how fast it moves, but you better get used to it because it's moving faster and faster, and you're not going to do anything by sitting here and trying to buck the system. You need to get on board because the train is moving, and we have already met in 2019 on our 2020 and 2021 recruits that we're looking at, and it's always going to be that way from now on, and it's even getting earlier and faster as far as looking recruits at younger and younger ages because of the moving up of the early signing date, and with most universities signing most of their classes in December. It may even come to a point where the February signing date is not even here anymore because so many people are signing their classes in December.
Darius?
This could be a tough question to ask, but when we met in December, we talked about having more defensive players kind of in the class to prove that balance. Based on what you have now, do you feel like you're getting closer to that? Is it too early to tell? Kind of.
We're definitely getting closer, and we need to continue to do that. The numbers are slowly coming to balance. Like I said, we still have some scholarships left that could screw the numbers one way or another, but I think we're getting closer to what we want. Yes, sir.
Steven?
The Jason Munoz situation seems to be pretty unique, maybe something we'll see a little bit more of. Can you just walk me through how you learned about that and what it was like from your perspective?
I don't want to give you all of it, so I won't, but I will say that Nick Monroe was the lead guy on that, and I thought that he represented us well in all the stuff that was going on there, and I think also I would be amiss if I didn't say that I thought that Coach Manny Diaz did a very humbling thing, and making sure that he put the young man first. And so I think the kudos to both of those guys is the key thing in that situation.
Dino, how would you assess the 3 new offensive linemen, just overall what they can bring depth to that position?
Young guys that we need to put in the oven for a year or two and see what comes out after they get through simmering. To come here as a freshman, and someday we'll get to the point where we can recruit freshmen that can play in the ACC, but I'm not sure how many individuals that walk this planet are capable of doing that. And you need to get them into your program, you need to get them stronger, you need to get them tougher, and then after a year or two, if they're made of the right stuff, they'll come in and they'll really, really contribute. And I think we've got Aaron Service is a fantastic example of somebody that came here, redshirted for a year, had him in the oven, he came out, and now you look at him and he's getting better and better every year. So it's just so hard for those 17 and 18-year-olds to come out and compete against 21 and 22-year-olds at that position based off the people that they have to play in the ACC.
Coach, you can look at the statistics and obviously the film and whatnot and bringing some of these guys in, but character-wise, just what you can say about finding the right guys and what you and your staff do to really pick apart who they are on and off the field.
It's interesting. When they come on a recruiting trip, they're evaluating us, but we're also evaluating them. And we really do work hard as a staff of trying to bring the right type of people into our community and into our university. And for the most part, we're exactly right on that. Sometimes we're wrong, and then if we know we're wrong, we'll try to correct the mistake very quickly, because I think that there's nothing more important than our culture. And when we talk about our family, our La Familia, our Ohana, I think that it's not lip service with us. So we are going to allow young people to come in and grow up, but if they're not growing up exactly the right way, then maybe this is not the best place for them. Maybe they need to go somewhere else, and that's going to be the best opportunity for them to have success.
Nate, is Cordy going to be on your team next year?
Antoine Cordy you're referring to?
Yeah.
We'll see.
You say you have a couple more scholarships that might skew the roster numbers a little bit, and I have you guys at 85 with him included in that. So
You're off. I don't mean that in a bad way. Yeah, you're off. We got more numbers than that. You're saying we only have one more scholarship to give? You're saying we have 0 scholarships to give? Yeah, you're off.
Who else is left?
I'm not going to give you the exact number, but I know that you'll figure it out.
Can you back up to that Cordy situation? What's the interested in. You got how long to decide? Or what's that?
I can't hear you. Got to speak up, Mark.
Antoine Cordy, can you talk more about his situation and what the timetable is on that?
We're going to sit down and have a talk. We haven't had that talk yet. When we have that talk, I'll have more information.
Does he have like a day that he has to decide?
No, not necessarily.
Any other questions for Coach? Matt?
Dino, I know in previous years you've discussed the importance of the tight end in your offense. Just maybe more so generally in recruiting a tight end, how do you sort of go about that, given the high school level is obviously a lot different?
You know, you really have to project. You really do. And in today's college football, the way I look at it, there's really two types of tight ends. You get the guys that are that can catch the football, can stretch the defense. Is a problem in the throwing game that maybe they're a bigger size and smaller, strong safeties have difficulties covering them because of their height or their speed. That's one type of tight end. The second type of tight end is the guy that comes off and just knocks that you-know-what out of a defensive end and allows you to be able to run certain running plays that a lot of teams can't run nowadays because they're lining up with 4 wide receivers and they don't have anyone that can kind of do that job. So there's really 2 job descriptions. We look for both. We'd like to have both of those guys on our football team, and sometimes it's just difficult even having one. But I think if you can find a way to have an A and a B character on your team, I think it gives you a lot of diversity and a lot of different directions that you can go on offense that may give the defense some troubles, definitely trying to defend you.
Steven? I think it was the early signing day presser. We talked about trying to build on the 10-win year. And you said staff kind of needs to learn how to talk to, they can't talk to them, but what it is that it takes to recruit maybe higher caliber players. You guys have been going around to schools since then, I'm sure talking to 2020, 2021 guys. What have you learned about that process and what it's going to take to maybe reach a little bit higher?
I don't know if I might have said that about the staff. I don't know if it was taken in the correct content. I think the biggest thing is this: we're not a 4-8 ACC team that took last in the conference anymore, where maybe you're going to take some stretches on some players because some other players aren't interested in you. You know, when you win 10 wins, when you get 10 wins in the ACC, first of all, you need to act like it, and you need to recruit like it. And I think the young men in the community and the people up and down the Eastern Seaboard can see the strides that the program's making, and we just want to make sure that we upgrade ourselves a little bit, that we are going to have opportunities to go after maybe some more highly recruited athletes, and we want to make sure that we give those young men every opportunity to come join us in our program.
Time for 2 more questions. Steven?
What can you share about Chance Amy's decision to transfer, and what was, I guess, the process like shifting from that to, okay, we probably need another quarterback?
I think the biggest thing I want to do is I just want to talk about people in our program. I think I wish Chance the best. He was fabulous while he was here, and I'm sure he's going to do great things wherever he's at.
Last question, Dan?
Abdul Adams, obviously Mo Neal, Jeremy Howard, you brought in a couple guys. Just what you could say about the backfield and what you're trying to build there at this point in the talent that you have.
I think there's a lot of different styles of backs, and I think we've probably got a little bit of taste of all of them. And we just want to put them out there and see if we can get back to what we're used to. You know, when we have a lot of success in the past, it's always been because we've had 1 or 2 running backs able to break that 1,000-yard barrier. And that, I think, is really important in the ACC, is that you have to never get away from that physicality. If you have the ability to run the football, regardless of who you're playing, not only does it help you during your season have balance in your offense, it also helps your defense when you're practicing against it, because you can know for sure before you step on the field that they can stop the run, and they can stop the run in different formations. So I think from an overall family aspect, it's something that you need to have in your program. So we're still looking for characters. We're still looking for guys with the ability to change a football game and maybe give us an opportunity where we can have 1 or 2 of those 1,000-yard backs in the exact same season the way we were used to it.
Thanks very much, Coach.
Thanks, guys. And gals.
If anybody still needs a signing day packet, they're right here on the desk. We can grab one.